Afternoon, it's Brentley here from Huckabones. Today we're going to look at trailer tongue weight and what it really means. We're going to break it down and show you where it could affect your truck payload, where it could affect what they call fishtailing on the trailer. And we have this question a lot when people are coming in to buy trailers, you know, what payload can I have, what tongue weight can I have? We're going to look at tongue weight and we're going to see how it reflects some other things, so stay tuned. All right, so start the video off, we talked about tongue weight. Tongue weight is literally how much weight this hitch is putting to that ball. So what you want to look at on the truck side of things is you'll have a payload rating or truck gross weighting in your ownership on the side of your door, in your owner's manual, talk to your truck dealer. But what we're looking at here is whenever that weight transfers to that ball, whenever you're loading, and we'll show that in a little bit, is what weight is that putting on your truck. And again, if your truck has a payload of say 1,000 pounds, well, now you have to factor in how much tongue weight is on your truck, how much cargo is in the back of your truck, and how many people you have in your truck, along with fuel and all that stuff that, you know what I mean, they don't always measure and put in the brochure. So it's just something to think about in the back of your mind. If you have 1,000 pounds and you got 4 people in the truck and you got some cargo going up to the cottage for the weekend, now you've hooked on your trailer, well, maybe you don't have room for 200 or 300 pounds of tongue weight before you're exceeding what your truck's payload is. So something to think about. We're going to walk up this trailer. We're going to kind of show you how the weight transfers on a tilt trailer, and that's going to kind of give you a perspective of tongue weight as you load a machine, as you load, you know, cargo, as you load anything. The further you put it to the front, the more payload you're putting onto your truck, the more tongue weight you're putting onto your truck, right? So as I walk up this trailer, it's going to tilt down, showing that that weight's transferring. Again, I'm thankfully not heavy enough to move this truck back in, up and down, but when you're loading a machine that weighs 1,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds or more, you're gonna see that transfer, and that is gonna squat your suspension. So that's gonna bring your back end down. So what this ripple effect does with your tongue weight is when that back end of your truck comes down, your front goes up. So one, you know what I mean, you might have had it before where someone's flashing the high beams at you, your lights are too bright coming at them. That's because they're pitched up. What that also does is takes traction and weight off your front wheels and your front brakes. So you have less steering capabilities and less braking capabilities out of the front if you really weight it down front heavy on your trailer, putting more tongue weight on your truck. So you'll see that all the time, that someone drives a machine up, they put it all the way to the front of their trailer, and that's just for ease of strapping down. They throw a strap over it, it's against the front, can't go anywhere. Well, that's wrong. What you should have is it centered over your axles, that weight is distributed evenly, that you want some forward. Again, if you have too much back, that's a bad thing as well. But you want the weight forward and putting tongue weight onto your truck, but not too much, because again, then that's going to have a ripple effect of the front tires, the front brakes, the headlights. So let's go up the trailer now, and then we'll talk a little bit about the weight on the trailer and how that affects the tongue weight. All right, so I'm gonna get on this trailer. If I was a machine, if I was your cargo, I'd want to be here. I want to be over the axle slightly, but forward, okay? This is putting weight to your truck. This is putting the ball on the hitch, or sorry, the hitch on the ball, for that stability, for that securement, that it's not bouncing around and wanting to come unlatched. But as you move backwards, and this tilt trailer is going to explain it, if I go to the same spot here, you just saw that little bit of movement. You've got a little bit on the backside, and now I'm starting to bring that trailer tongue up, right? So it's going to keep going down because this is a gravity tilt, and it's a nice trailer that we sell, but it was really bringing the basics to this video and not having to run machines on and off and everything. But as you move forward, okay, your weight's going to transfer when you load, and yes, it's going to start to come down and everything because I've just got in front of the axle. Again, if I go all the way up to here, it'll come down a little faster. Again, it's a cushion tilt, so it's not going to show that immediately. But I've got all the weight now front, and if I bounce, you can see that, you know what I mean, moving on the back of the truck, of course. But this is putting way too much tongue weight on here. You got nothing on your axles. And again, if you have a braking axle, that's a bad thing too. So if there's no weight on those tires that need to be braking, they're going to lock up. they're going to skid, you're going to wear your tires, and you're going to change your tires more often because the weight isn't on them to help that truck brake. You want this axle weight down to the ground and the machine or the cargo above the axle, so one, it's got the suspension working correctly, it's not bouncing all over the place because there's no weight on the suspension, it's braking properly because there's weight on the wheels to help them stop. If you have back weight, like whenever I move behind the axle, that's when you get what they call fishtailing. So again, the weight's behind the axle, you get a little bit of sway, a little bit of movement, but again, as you get more speed, that sway gets larger. And that's where trailers can come out of the control and really put your truck where they want to put your truck, because the trailer's in control at that point. You have no way of stopping that trailer from swaying other than slowing down. And people make the mistake of slowing down too fast or locking up brakes, and that's when you get something jackknifing or flipping, and that's the worst case scenario for sure. What you want to do, with just a little tip, if you do have some fishtailing, you want to back off the gas, apply a little bit of brake, and try and slow that down and have it straightened out. After you get it straightened out and stopped, reposition your load. Get that weight further above, and if you can't reposition your load because it was loaded with a forklift or something that way, then you're going to have to reduce your speed for that trip. That's what gets you fishtailing, is too much weight behind the axle along with too much speed. All right, just to wrap up today's video, again, a quick one on tongue weight. Hope it helped of how you're going to load a trailer, how that affects your truck, and how you have the tongue weight going to the truck for both your payloads, of not exceeding that for your truck's gross payloads and all that with what you're carrying for the cargo in the truck, along with that trailer now hooked to the truck, along with helping, steering, braking, headlights, that kind of thing, staying down. Again, we talked about that transfer of just being in front of the axle, having the weight forward of the axle and over the axle for your brakes on your trailer, for your stability of your suspension on your trailer. All that stuff matters. And again, if you really, are on the fence about how do I load this, buy something that's 2 feet longer than what you're loading. That allows you to position that load perfectly, because you can now have the space of getting that weight where it needs to be. Whether you had to back that machine on or drive it on, you can try it different ways. But 2 extra feet on a trailer really makes a difference on being able to place your tongue weight and not buying something that's too short and just having it there. And that's all you can do with it. If you liked today's video, click that like button. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.